Alright, so Conflict of Nations, the third game in our content creator tournament. And I think we have like 14 players, maybe even 15 or 16, I'm not really sure. So anyways, we are playing a 4-speed team versus team on the world map. And most of these people here are experienced. I'm basically the only one who is playing for the first time. And the rules of the game is that we have 8 days of peace between players, but 8 real-time days. So 8 real-time days of peace results in 32 days of in-game peace. So what this means, of course, is that we are gonna have a war between West and East in like the ultra late game. We are being extremely selective with what units we can make, what research we can make. So I feel like I'm not really getting to experiment a lot, but you know, I'm France here and I conquered this much in like 12 in-game days, which is a little bit underwhelming. My teammates told me that strike fighters are apparently the holy grail of early game expansion, and I'm gonna use this to clear all these countries. So based on the map here, where we, again, like in the Call of War game, we split the world map into 2 regions, and then nobody is allowed to cross this line in the first 32 in-game days. So, you know, I have a lot of tasks here to still expand here. And I already lost a bunch of units. I cannot show you because I don't know how to get to the KD tab. Maybe they don't have a KD tab. These AIs keep declaring war on me. And so after I'm done with Germany, I'm gonna go UK next and then probably Scandinavia. And I really hope these strike fighters are gonna be enough to help me clear that. And I was really like in the Call of War mindset, just like the last content creator game. Oh, I'm gonna push level 5 industry and everything, and I'm gonna push max level recruitment offices and everything. Apparently here it's different. Apparently electronics is really, really important, and then supplies and rare materials are fairly important, and components and fuel are relatively unimportant. And also manpower from recruitment offices is only sort of important. So even though we have 32 days of preparation, I was being told to not make high-level arms industries in most of my cities, and also not to have high-level recruitment offices in most of my cities. And it kind of makes sense because, you know, if electronics is really this super big bottleneck and building these buildings costs electronics, I mean, you don't want to do that. And like, especially like if you look at the research tab here, I mean, look at that. There is so many different researches and so many different units. And also, you know, I really think it makes a difference. I am very comfortable with the World War II environment and also with the World War I environment, you know, from like a history point of view. I don't really know too much about modern warfare. I don't really have an understanding of, you know, what a multiple rocket launcher, what is it gonna counter? Is it gonna be like anti-infantry or like the SAM launcher? What's even the difference? A little bit tricky for me. And also my teammates, they made like this very big plan. I'm gonna have a very specialized army of only like 3 different units, some rocket launchers that are like good against air and also artillery. I really don't know. It's gonna be interesting. And then let's see where we are gonna be with expansion in like another 12 in-game days. So the theory is, of course, that you don't want to start producing units early because you have to pay upkeep. So the later you produce units, the more resources you will have in total, but you also don't want to start too late because units take time to produce, of course. Then maybe you cannot get to spend all your resources if you start too late. So you kind of want to find a sweet spot. We got the green light to start unit production. And so my unit composition is going to be these elite main battle tanks, and every person got at least one of these strong units. And then I also gonna make multiple rocket launchers and then also SAM launchers. And I'm not really too sure about yet what these units do. I guess the SAM launcher is an anti-air gun. Surface-to-air missile vehicle. Provides air cover against advancing units, attacks enemies with its radar, and engages aircraft and missiles. Does not engage low-flying helicopters. That's interesting. So yes, they get countered by helicopters. I was already told that. And against helicopters, I will rely on my teammates. But then the MRL, so I think they're just basically rocket artillery. And then I guess I have the battle tanks is more like a meat shield. Yeah, I don't know yet how the playstyle is gonna be. I think I'm just gonna have a very chunky artillery stack, and that's why I have these main battle tanks. But maybe if I have enough of them, I can also charge and play with melee combat style. We will see. So we almost completed both of the Americas, and now we're still working in Europe and Africa. I mean, the enemy has some countries that are starting to get quite big, with Russia, China, India, I guess also Iran. They also have Kazakhstan and Saudi Arabia, I already saw. But these seem to be the newer players. I'm spot 8. So there's quite a few people below me in terms of expansion. Some of these people seem very inactive, right? I made this Excel sheet here, and to really get an overview of my build, and I just estimated these numbers here. But so based on the costs, I will need these resources, and right now I have these resources. So you can already see that Electro is gonna be the big bottleneck, and I think components I might be able to get from my teammates by trading it. But at the end of the day, I will have like a big surplus of supplies and manpower. But so I was looking for a unit that would cost mostly supplies and manpower, but so far I don't think I have found it, because all of this costs components and supplies. Here also everything components. I mean, this costs everything here costs supplies and Electro, and Electro is also bottleneck. The war is coming closer, and we are in our final preparations. If we look at my army, I have now 18 multiple rocket launchers, a bunch of motorized infantry from the start still over, some strike fighters from the early game to clear up leftover, then I have 9 elite battle tanks and 12 SAMs. So my job, I think, is just to have the ground troops push on the ground, and for anti-helicopter apparently I need my teammates. I feel like some of the people in my team who cleared more, they actually made troops like National Guards in the early game, and I think that would have also helped me out a lot. So I would really like to see what units my teammates have. So he has also SAM and rocket launchers. Seems like we all have the same units. I mean, USA here has 4 strike fighters. I mean, they are still also left over from the early game, I assume. But I think USA has more fighters, or like more planes than this. And other than that, we have some submarines, I guess. What does Argentina have? 10 attack helicopters. That's interesting. Also attack helicopters. Interesting, there is a satellite here. Alright, so the war has started, and we made a gentleman's agreement that we are only gonna fight in Europe, and of course our primary objective here would be to push Belarus. I mean, I was a little bit late and I wasn't really in position, and I thought the other people are already on top, so I positioned here in Serbia. And yeah, so my goal is to push here, and there's seems to be plenty of enemy troops here. An hour ago people explained to me how to basically fight this correctly. Unlike Call of War, overstacking apparently isn't good in this game. So we have stacks of 10 here. My army comp is like a little bit scuffed, I feel like. The bulk of my armies are like, I think like this, yeah. So I have 6 basically artillery, then I have some tank from each shield, and then 2 anti-plane SAM launchers. I mean, this is just weird. So he has a bunch of motorized infantry. But so basically I'm fighting with 2 stacks of artillery versus only like half. We also see like Brazil, who has a very similar setup. You can see, I mean, he's a little bit unbalanced with his stacks here. And they're all set into aggressive mode. I think that's very important. So they automatically attack. But I think this is not going too badly. We're getting, I think, a good amount of value here. But I think for now I can just stay in aggressive mode and then check back in like 10-20 minutes. But so far these are very weird stacks. He only has 2 artillery in this stack. And I overproduced SAMs a little bit. So here's another artillery stock. One artillery railgun. But I think railgun apparently is low range. So again, only 2 artillery pieces per stack. I think I should be crushing everything. So we are pushing through here. You know, the tricky thing in this game is you can only capture territory with motorized or with like infantry units, right? And I only have 1 stack of infantry units and everything else has like, you know, tanks, anti-air and artillery. And it's really helping me push India. And like India is using a lot of units, I think. I'm really trading very, very well and they're retreating. But Loki, it seems like this is already over. I really don't know. Like, shouldn't they have more on the front line? I don't have any idea what's going on in the air. We seem to be very strong in the air. But yeah, looking good, looking good. India is in full retreat and I think he's losing a lot of units. Man, I think this game is so confusing. I really have no overview of what's going on. Like in Call of War, I would be constantly checking KDs and stuff and know who is losing how many units. But here, I don't know. Did I kill like 3 units of India or did I kill 20 units of India? I honestly don't know. The enemy basically retreated. And I think they got kind of killed apparently. I didn't really follow it. Everything was over so quickly. But they got murdered on Navy. I think they kind of got murdered on air. You saw me winning with artillery. And there's just nothing here. And with this VP limit being extremely low, this game is about to end. And yeah, you know, it's a little bit underwhelming. I had a feeling that this might happen. It's very funny with these creator games. You would expect the quality of games to be far, far higher, but they really aren't. Probably in your standard alliances, I would imagine, even though I have never played them, that the quality goes up. But I mean, our team was very, very organized. On the Discord, they were messaging a lot. I mean, like the Algeria guy, who is very good at Conflict of Nations, he was babysitting me so much that I actually found it mildly annoying. I was like, I just want to make some units. I mean, just like in the Call of War game, I was very panicked and anxious about, oh, you know, I'm not playing 100% efficient. I should have done a little tiny thing differently, but it really didn't matter at all. Like, even though I wasn't playing 100% efficient, it was more than enough. So I'm pretty sure this makes me the only one in this tournament who won all of their games, which is kind of cool, I guess. I do think I did a good job in a supremacy game. I definitely carried in the Call of War game, but I think this game, I don't think I carried. If I was in the other team, this game I would have lost. So I think here it was just luck. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing left to say here. Yeah, the series is over. So I guess the next video that I will be looking forward to making is Supremacy versus Call of War versus Conflict of Nations. But anyways, thanks for everybody here for playing. Thanks for Enigma for all the tips. And yeah, the other people also played well. Alright, GG.